Random Life Mondays show, Monday session, where I want to talk about another topic that keep emerging from my conversations with my amazing humanitarians, and that conversation was around mature, immature decisions. So basically, many of them come to me saying that, how do I really know if it's a mature decision to leave or to stay or a immature decision? And this is what I have been observing, and I would love to offer you a solution for you to consider and see if that works for you, right? So, first, let me describe to you the problem with examples, and then I will um, share what's going on, right? So, the problem that I see, or sorry, the problem that people report to me saying that I want to leave my job because I don't really have that motivation, or I don't really have that belief. I don't really have that belief in the cause in the last 2 years, and now the weather that I'm experiencing is even making it worse. And I just keep asking myself, what's the sacrifice for, right? So that was one of the uh, person telling me about, and she was telling me that, well, is it really a mature thing to do just to leave because you don't like the weather and then you don't really like certain things in your job and then you just want to leave? Is that really a mature thing to do, right? So that was one of the examples. Another example that another humanitarian fellow was talking about, that he wants to spend more time with his family and with his daughter, but everyone keep telling him that, well, no one really leaves. No one really leaves such kind of a job, such amazing place, right? So, like, get on, buckle up, and do the things, and there will be no other place where you can just feel happy all of the time. So, and then he was also telling me that, well, is that really a mature thing to do, to be leaving and wanting to be with the family, even though the whole world seems to think that that's not a good idea? Right. And the third example, that I was talking to another client of mine, and he was saying that he wanted to move from HQ position to a field position. And then he was talking to different people, and then they were saying that, well, everyone wants to have a HQ position, the stability, the privileges, and all the things, the safety. And it's not a mature thing to do for you to just jump off to the field unless you have to, kind of. You see, so three examples I have given you that are very specific examples from my people that I've been talking to, my clients. And the question always comes up, the mature versus immature decisions. Now, from all of this, the trend seems, one of the trend is that we seem to believe that whenever we are wanting to do what we really want to do, i.e., being with the family, i.e., being with friends, i.e., being doing other things that we really love, uh, we believe that that's not really a mature thing to do because that's egoistic. And whatever the thing that the society is telling us that we should be doing, and we feel like we don't really want to be doing that, then the argument comes up, well, this is not a mature thing to do. So, in other words, there is this trend of, if we follow the society's like views and rules of how we should behave or how we should make a decision, and if we don't follow it, then it's an immature thing to do. But if we follow it, then it's a mature thing to do. Another way of looking at it is that we seem to believe that mature thing is when we just keep suffering, keep going through whatever the misery we're going through, in the name of supporting our family, in the name of not losing our career, in the name of keep doing the same thing, because the alternative is we don't really know, and therefore we explain to ourselves that if we leave or if we do something else, that would be an immature thing to do. Therefore, we just keep being an adult, in quotes, and keep doing the mature thing of keep being in the place that we don't really like. And another way of looking at it that we seem to be looking at it as humanitarians, especially, is that mature thing is a foremost stability, like at any cost. And if we're not really doing that stability, or if we're not really following that stability or contributing, keep being in that stability, then it's not a mature thing to do. So this is the excuse me, three wide definitions that we seem to have adopted without really recognizing it. And we're also not really recognizing how that's also stopping us from pursuing what we really want to. And oftentimes we don't even allow ourselves to really explore what is it genuinely we're wanting and how we could get there. We don't really do that because we're scared that if we do that, then it will be immature thing to do. So that's why, my dears, I really want you to think about another way of looking at mature and immature decisions. And also think for yourself, how will you recognize is when is it mature and when is it immature? So here is a solution that I would love to offer to you to think about it. Right? So I would love to offer to you to think about first, define for yourself what that mature and immature decision is. Here is how I have defined it for myself, and I have been offering that as a solution or as a thing to consider for yourself as well. Mature decision has these elements, and I would love for you to think about. So, mature decision is when you have considered the consequences of your decision, not only for your family and the loved ones, which is amazing, but for yourself as well in the short and long term. So that consequence could be that you want to finally be doing what you want to do, or you want to take care of your emotional well-being, your financial well-being. The same goes spending with your family, with your loved ones, with your friends. All of that together, if you feel like that's really what you want to be doing, then why discard it as a mature thing to do? Because in that moment, if what we really want to be doing is being with the family, being with the friends and relatives, and also taking care of your well being, taking care of your financial well being, your emotional well being, and doing something else that you really want to do, then that sounds like a very mature thing to decide on. And that's what you can consider. So that would be the first thing, element of mature thing, is when you have considered not only the interests of your loved ones, which is very important, but also your own interests, your own well-being, your own emotional, financial, spiritual, and other well-being in the place where you are or outside of it. That would be a mature thing to do, to make a decision based on considerations of all of them. Another element of mature decision is when you have considered all of them and you have decided to go for whatever the decision that you want to go for out of belief, out of trust for yourself and your abilities that you will make it work, you will make it happen, right? And the third element that I always suggest is doing it out of true freedom within, to say that this is in fact the truth that you want to pursue, even though maybe it may contradict in some ways with the interest of your family or the loved ones, but still you will ensure that you will make it work so that they don't receive the negative consequences of your decision. So these are the things that I suggest for you to think about when you think about mature decision. These could be the elements of your mature decision. So the one is the considering the well-being and emotional well-being, financial well-being, other well-being of your loved ones and yourself. Absolutely. Second is doing things out of really believing, trusting yourself, and going for your truth and doing that out of inner freedom, that that's really what you want to do, even if it means it may contradict with some of the interest of your loved ones. That is, I think, the way I think about is the mature decision is when you have considered those elements and then you have made the decision, whichever the way. Immature decision, the elements that I want you to look out for and see when this is happening and that you are doing it is immature decision, I find, is when we adopt other people's opinions as society or as friends or as influential people around us or colleagues. We adopt their opinion without questioning. That I find is immature because every one of us has our own way of thinking, our way of deciding, our way of wanting to live our lives. So that's why even if you seek for their opinions, even if they give you without your permission or whatever the way the situation is, question for yourself, is that really how you want to see things, how you want to view things? That is one big element of immature decision is adopting other people's opinions as our own without really standing by it, questioning it, and really being all in for it. So that's one element. The other element is the fear part. That I find that it's an immature decision is if we're doing it out of simply giving in to the fear and then explaining to ourselves that, well, otherwise it would have been immature, right? Because it's like wanting to hide and not wanting to be uncomfortable, and therefore just saying, "Oh, this would otherwise it would have been immature." That's just like not standing by our own truth. That's why. Whenever you are giving in to the fear, whenever you're wanting to hide because of the uncomfortable or discomfort that you may experience if you decide, that is in fact an immature decision because we are adults, we are capable of dealing with any of our emotions, and if we are wanting to go to what we really want to, there will be a fear and we have the ability to deal with that fear. Excuse me. And the third one is any excuses that may come up that you just want to use it as like a facade to not look at what you really want. That is immature. In other words, that you're not really having this honest, truthful conversation with yourself and really saying that this is what I really want to, and instead using other excuses like, well, everyone says that it's not a good idea, or I shouldn't be really doing it. I don't know what will be happening. So, in other words, like pretending or masking your own desires with other explanations to discard all of your genius, to discard all of your abilities, and just say that, well, because of these reasons, I can't really go. Like everyone's saying that it's not possible, or I don't think it will really work without really having considered all of your options. That would be mature because the mature approach is always having considered all of the truths, all of the honest options available, honest approaches available uh, before making a decision, right? So that's why if you are noticing that, that would also be an immature way of approaching things. So, my dears, I hope that this was helpful for you to think about in terms of how do you know when you are making an immature decision or a mature decision. And if you want to work on this, or if you're having trouble deciding for yourself how and what, and lots of overwhelm or questions coming up or mind drama, then absolutely come to coach with me. I would love to coach you around this topic to get you to the goal that you're really seeking. Whatever that means staying where you are or going somewhere else. Have an amazing week and talk to you very soon. Thank you. Bye.